Hello, welcome to Bryan Living and Learning. I'm Alan Bruggman from the City of Bryan's Communications Department.
And I'm Sandy Farris, the Communications Director for Bryan ISD. Today we'll be looking at the impact that parents and staff members have on the quality of education in our classrooms. We'll check in with the media technology classes at Bryan High School who recently received an upgrade to their equipment. And we'll be visiting with the first ever cross-country team at Bryan Collegiate High School.
The City of Bryan will take a look back at the Zeke Fest Music Festival, which was recently held out at Lake Bryan. And we'll also show you our next Be Green in Bryan segment, which is about the Compost Facility.
But first we want to show you some teachers who recently received grants from our Education Foundation.
It's a sight that teachers and administrators love to see. Twice a year, Sandra Davis and the people from the Bryan Education Foundation walk through the school doors delivering oversized plastic checks. These checks represent grant monies given to teachers or campuses to improve the quality of education in Bryan. Recently, more than $22,000 in grants were awarded to teachers and administrators on 9 different campuses in our district. The money raised by the Education Foundation provides an avenue for business and community members, as well as school district personnel and alumni, to enhance the education process by funding classroom and campus-wide projects. This program, with its emphasis on innovative projects and creative teaching approaches, provides funding that may not be otherwise available for proposals which have a potential to enhance the learning process.
Well, Cindy, I bet that's a great surprise for those teachers, a big check.
It is, and every year the Foundation hands out thousands of dollars to supplement classroom projects.
Our next Be Green in Bryan segment is all about the compost facility here in Bryan. We'll show you from start to finish how waste products are turned into a usable compost product. The City of Bryan's compost facility has been operating since November of 1993, meaning they have produced tons upon tons of compost product. The compost facility is really a community-wide effort, and it starts with you at home. In order to kickstart the compost process, you can leave your yard waste material curbside, and Bryan crews will come and pick it up. This resident did some serious tree trimming, and experienced operators grabbed up the limbs and stumps and placed it in a truck. From there, the truck transports the load to the compost facility, located at 2988 Pleasant Hill Road. Compost operator Dennis Kirch details how compost is made at the facility.
When we get in the brush, it comes from our scales. We weigh everything in, and it goes to this big pile that you see in the back over here, in the background. And when we get enough brush on a brush pile, we have a contractor that comes in and grinds it. They shred the brush up, and after it's shredded, we use that into our windrows, which you'll see back over here a little bit later. And we combine the wood chips that we grind with the biosolids to produce the compost.
The biosolids are trucked in from a wastewater treatment plant. That product makes up the second part of the compost.
Annually, we receive about approximately 10,000 tons of brush from the community and surrounding areas. And also our biosolids, if you're familiar with biosolids, which is a wastewater sludge, because we are a biosolid facility, we take in about 5,000 tons of that each year from our wastewater treatment plants.
And all of that material is eventually mixed together.
We combine the wood chips and the biosolids, and we mix everything up, and we keep mixing it up, and it's got to maintain a certain temperature of 55 degrees minimum for a 15-day period. That's the minimum EPA regulation. And after we're done with that, we pick it up and we put it on our static piles, and it remains there another 30 to 60 days. And when it's ready to run through our screener that you see in the background, the green machine, and we run it through the screen, and that's the finished product you see coming out of the truck back there, and that's what he's loading up.
The finished product looks like a fine, rich soil, which is great for gardening or landscaping in your yard.
The finished product they can purchase at $28 a ton, or it's like 1.4 cents a pound. We actually sell it by the pound, and you can get as much or as little as you need. And yes, you can put it directly on the soil at a certain thickness, or you can use it to mix into the soil. We recommend like a 50-50 mix.
Applying the compost to your yard will help your plants, and it also helps our local environment. Using the compost material can be much better for our ecosystem than many fertilizers, and the compost facility also diverts all those tons of material away from our landfill.
We're keeping most of the biosolids from wastewater treatment plants and the brush out of landfill. If we wouldn't here, if we didn't have this facility, everything would have to go to the landfill. And in doing so, the landfill would fill up quite a bit faster.
If you're interested in purchasing some compost, just drive out to the facility. The easiest way to get there is heading to the intersection of Harvey Mitchell Parkway and Highway 21 and driving north on Harvey Mitchell about 2 miles. At the yellow flashing light, turn left on Sandy Point, and about a half a mile down, take the first left, which is Pleasant Hill Road.
They can bring a small truck, small trailer, big truck, whatever. We can load any type of vehicle. All they do is come across our scales, we weigh them in, and they get loaded, we weigh them out. And if they hadn't been here before, all we require is a driver's license from them to enter them into their computer system, and it'll be payable by credit card and personal check only. We don't take cash.
If you have any questions about the compost facility, give those folks out there a call at 361-0859 or look them up at bryantx.gov.
Alan, that's interesting to see that process from start to finish.
Yeah, we thought it was neat that people can leave the limbs in the yard and that can be converted into a usable compost.
Our parent-teacher organizations serve an important role in supporting the many activities on our campuses.
Our goal at Rudder High School is for family involvement. We feel like the more family involvement there is, the better the school will be, because the kids know that the parents care about them. And so we do monthly encouragement things for our teachers, because we want our kids to know that we respect our teachers. We do teacher appreciation dinners. We have T-shirt sales, sweatshirt sales for school spirit.
We do fundraising. We have a brick campaign to start bricks out front for the first classes, the first graduates of Rudder High. We provide money for scholarships for kids when they graduate. We provide funding for field trips that isn't in the budget for the school, so we try to give our kids just extra opportunities that they normally wouldn't get through the help of parents and families, and just try to make sure everybody knows what's going on in this school and give them an opportunity to make a difference.
Of course, fundraising efforts are some of the most visible activities of the high school PTOs. Selling T-shirts is a huge project for the Rudder and Bryan High PTOs. But selling T-shirts is not all that the PTO is about.
I would say that it really is the support group that you get from knowing other parents. And then getting up here, you see what goes on in their day, whether you're here at lunch when it's crazy. If you try and walk the halls and they have been fussing about all the people in the hallways and you've never done it, you should try it sometime. Maneuvering around with all of the kids that are here, you get to know what your kid is dealing with during the day by being up here. You also get to meet the administration, you get to meet the teachers, and that's so important when your kid comes home needing questions or you need a question answered. Just a name with a face is so helpful up here. It is a big campus, but it's so many opportunities because of the big campus that any help you get in knowing it better will help you in the long run and your kid.
Well, Sandy, that's some great stuff. What if somebody wants to join their kids' PTO organization?
They just need to contact the campus where their child attends, and we'll have a name and contact information for them.
This past Labor Day, Zeke Fest was held out at Lake Bryan. We'll show you some sights and sounds from the huge music festival. Zeke Fest got started 2 days before the actual event itself, with the massive stage going up, and workers and vendors putting everything in place before the crowds moved in. Campers and RVs filled up every spot available, and when Sunday rolled around, thousands of people descended on the Lake Bryan shore for Zeke Fest 2009. Here are some sights and sounds from this year's event.
bullet, I bring the wine. You bring the bullet, I bring my back. 'Cause I can tell you where it is, but I can tell you where it's at. I got the time, bring the bullets, and I'll bring the wine. Bring bullets, I got the time, bring bullets, and I'll bring the wine. Bring bullets, and I'll bring my stack. We got the bullets, I got the time, bring bullets, and I'll bring the wine. Bring it. That's what I'm talking about, people. Let us hear you one time. We gotta hear you on a Sunday afternoon. Come on!
Alan, that looked like a great time, and the weather cooperated as well.
Yeah, last year they had a little bit of a hurricane threat, so I think they could deal with the hot weather this time, as long as it wasn't raining.
A staff member at Crockett Elementary is working hard to improve parent and community involvement on that campus. Kristen Little is proving that even one person can make a difference.
My title here at Crockett is Parent and Community Involvement Specialist, and the things that I do are to increase the children's academics by bringing their parents into their learning environment. That can be parents coming into the school and volunteering here, or just working at home with their students on the things that they're learning in class. It's very important for a parent to be involved in their child's learning. Studies will show that if a parent is active in what their children is learning, they will be successful in school. Now, does that mean I need to know algebra when I get to 8th grade? No. But do I need to check with my student that he's doing his algebra homework and be involved? Absolutely. So it's easier in elementary school to be very involved because you can be more hands-on with the things that they're learning. We do all kinds of fun events at Crockett. And I've seen them at other schools too. There's award ceremonies, there's choir events, there's our music programs. We do Grandparents' Day and pastries for parents where parents can just come and eat breakfast. There's student-led conferences that we do here at Crockett where the parents come in and their child goes through a folder of all the things they have been learning, and they tell their parents about what their academic successes are all about. And it's a time for them to share in the classroom, and they can show them around. Well, we have a lot of community groups or organizations or businesses that help us at Crockett also. We have been very fortunate to have Walmart in Bryan as one of our Crockett community sponsors for last year and this year. And thanks to Jessica Walters, our counselor, and Mr. Beavers, Walmart has done numbers of things for us to help us. They have provided coats and shoes and school supplies and teacher supplies and money for field trips, and they have been a great sponsor for the last couple of years. Other places organize things like school supply drives. The Junior League is very good to us. They're always there if we need school supplies to kick off our school year. Churches like Living Hope, they do a big shoe drive for us in the fall, and that brings lots of smiling faces to a lot of our kids because they get new shoes at Christmas time.
But getting others involved is not the only way that Kristen Little is working to improve Crockett Elementary. She has also been using her own artistic talents to brighten the halls of the 60-year-old campus.
Well, the first year that I came to Crockett, when Miss Joyner came, she wanted to start Crockett Community, a place where everyone learns. So that was our theme that year. And so on the front wall, she wanted it to look like our neighborhood and where we live, and that we welcome everybody, all parents and grandparents and students, and learning is about all of us. So that was our first project. Our second project was to create Kinderland, to make the kindergarten and pre-K wing a lot of fun. So that was done this summer, and we're painting something every summer from here on out, she says. So we have big plans.
Did I mention all the businesses at the churches?
Well, you know, I want parents to feel comfortable and not afraid or anything to come into the school. I want them to feel like this is their place too, to come and see their students learn and achieve and be a part of it. I'd like to see parents empower themselves. We as teachers and coordinators, we know that people's time is very valuable, and you feel guilty saying, hey, can you come up and help us decorate for a Christmas program, or do you mind coming in and helping with reading at lunch? You know, you feel guilty because you know people's time is valuable. But if parents may feel, on the other hand, if they're not asked, I'm not sure I'm wanted. And that's not the case with any school in Bryan ISD. Every school in Bryan ISD wants parents to be involved. That's our goal. Lots of schools have PTOs and other organizations that you can join, and those are great because that helps you meet people. You meet other people in your grade level, so if you need to share homework ideas or anything like that. But it doesn't have to be that way. Come in to the front desk, meet the receptionist up front, introduce yourself, get to know your teacher. That's the best way you can help your child, is to get to know your teacher. They know then that you're interested in what your children are learning. Kids feel great when their mom and dads walk into school and they are a part of what they're doing. They love for them to come to special events. They love for them just to come in and say hi, have lunch. So anything that a parent can do, they're making a positive influence on their child and their learning.
Well, Sandy, I guess it's safe to say that you can't have too much parental and community involvement when it comes to helping these kids.
That's right. And we're so fortunate to have staff members like Kristen who work to make that happen all the time.
Our Parks and Recreation Department has started a new program called Community Education Classes. Recently, Brooke Reyes from Parks and Recreation came over to shoot a video blog for cityofbryanblog.com, and she gave all the details. You may notice we have a special guest here. That's Brooke. She's from Parks and Rec, and she's, as you can already tell, she's 10 times better looking than I am, so already this blog has been improved. So, Brooke, what do you do over at Parks and Rec?
My official title is Recreation Programmer. So what I'm in charge of is the Senior Citizens Programs and newly Community Education Programs.
Very exciting. Do you enjoy that job?
Very much. We have a lot of fun.
Nice.
We're Parks and Rec.
Well, Parks and Rec, funnest department in the city, huh?
Truly.
Behind us, because we're goofballs. Okay, so today you're coming on to talk about community education classes.
Yes.
That's a complex title for
community education classes.
Nice.
We have got classes for anyone looking to further their education from teenage on up.
Okay, what are some of the topics? I mean, can you go and learn like karate? I mean, am I...
Not right now.
But maybe?
Maybe in the future. Good class. No, right now we have everything from Spanish and English to French, Chinese. We have Chinese.
Are you going to be teaching these classes? Or?
No. They would not be very successful if I taught them. No, but we are going to, we also have crafts for the holidays, and computer programs are teaching Dreamweaver and Adobe Photoshop.
Very cool.
And the neat thing about this, too, is it's a joint partnership with Bryan ISD. So lots of our classes are going to be over at Rudder High School.
Very cool. Okay, now who is teaching these classes? If you're not doing it, I know I'm not doing it because I'm an expert at only a couple of things.
No, it's going to be, we have a whole variety of teachers. Most of them have taught before, so they have experience. One of our teachers, actually, I'm kind of impressed, he used to do translating for the military. So now he's teaching Spanish.
Was he one of those guys maybe that was behind the scenes and did like spy translating?
I couldn't tell you that. I'd have to kill you.
Oh, jeez. Very secretive in these classes. Okay, do people have to pay for these? Or?
Yes, there is a cost. They range anywhere from $20 to $50 at the max. The classes range from one-day workshops all the way to 6 weeks, meeting once or twice a week.
Okay, cool. And most of them will be at Rudder High?
Most of them will be at Rudder High, Bryan Library, or a few right here in the municipal building.
Okay, easy to get to. Pretty cheap considering what you're learning. I mean, if you had to go for a conference or take a university class for some of these, it'd be a lot more.
A lot more.
Okay.
A lot more.
And where to go, people? You can't just show up to these, right? I mean, you have to sign up.
No, you have to register. You can come by our office on Martin Luther King, or better yet, just call us to get information. It's 209-5528, or go to our website, which is www.bryanparksandrecreation.com.
bryanparksandrecreation.com.
Well, Alan, I've seen some of the classes that are going to be offered. It looks like there's a wide variety of opportunities.
Yeah, they're really excited about starting these out. And she said it during the blog, but just want to make sure everybody got it. You can register by going to bryanparksandrecreation.com.
As an early college high school campus, Bryan Collegiate may not have the wide variety of extracurricular activities as other campuses, but they do have their very first cross-country team this fall.
Well, this is the first year of cross-country. It's for our first UIL sport. We've done UIL academics. Right now we have about 15 kids running. This is, for some of them, their first time ever to do any organized sport ever, which is great because the main thing I wanted and expectation was for them to be able to start and to improve throughout the year and stay committed and be a team. And it was really cool. We had our first meet last Saturday at Vista Ridge High School, and the kids came back and they were so excited for Monday for practice. And just really happy and really ready to be there and committed to it. And so that was a really big improvement in just attitudes and kind of knowing what to expect. And really seeing what it was to run and what a race was like, because I could keep telling them, but they couldn't or didn't understand it right now. A lot of them are sophomores and juniors, and they're just out here for a good time. Girls will run 2 miles, JV varsity, JV and varsity. Boys run 3 miles for both teams, JV and varsity. Usually we practice 5 days a week after school. Sometimes we'll do long distance. Sometimes we'll do short speeds, for as fast as you can, run this, X, amount of distance, and it just varies from what you're doing. So. When I was interviewed for the job, Miss Richardson, Christina, asked me if I wanted to do cross country, and basically the reason she said was that the kids wanted to be there, and she saw a desire, and it's kind of that's how everything has happened out of the school, is they have a desire and they try to make it happen. And so she saw this as a sport that they could do, where they could participate as UIL, not just participating in intramural sports here, and that we could still participate on Saturdays and they could not miss blend classes. So she made it happen and talked to Harry Francis, athletic director, and they all got it taken care of. It was really cool, though, because we started practicing a few weeks before school started, so I really got to develop relationships with kids before I got here, and so I knew some of the kids. I could put faces with names, and it was great because it just gave me it's just a difference when just being a teacher compared to being, someone that's helping them reach a goal like cross country, and so it's been a really, really neat experience for them and for me.
Sandy, that cross-country team looks like a great idea. Do they have any future plans for more sports?
That's a possibility. With an early college campus, there's so many considerations as far as scheduling goes, so they'll be taking a look at that in the future.
In these trying economic times, many nonprofit organizations are struggling to meet their budget. In October, a forum is coming to Bryan that will show those groups how to get some extra dollars. The City of Bryan is proud to serve as the host city for the 8th Annual Funders Forum on October 8th and 9th. The Funders Forum is an event that brings funding entities and their nonprofit partners together.
It's about 45 federal, state, and private foundations or grant makers from across the nation that come together in one place to talk to towns, counties, nonprofit agencies that need grant funds.
Shane Shepard has become a big fan of the Funders Forum because of what it's done for his small town.
Off of last year's contacts, we made about $500,000 worth of successful grant applications in our small town of Winsboro, which has about 4,000 people in it.
And that's money he probably wouldn't have secured if not for the Funders Forum.
When we write our grant application, we have someone to contact for assistance. And what we found is a lot of agencies will give money to their, not friends, but to people who they talk to, who they trust, more than what they will to somebody who they haven't talked to at all.
To register for the forum or for more information, log online at etvv.org.
Well, Alan, with so many organizations looking for money these days, this looks like a good opportunity for them to get involved.
Yeah, it definitely is. And if you miss the dates and times for this forum, it's October 8th and 9th at the First United Methodist Church here in Bryan.
Our Bryan High School media technology classes recently received some much-needed upgrades to their equipment. We'll take a look at some of the productions they're now doing.
We got 24 new iMacs in our classroom, and they are the latest and greatest from Apple. They're awesome. The screens are 24-inch, and we went from 17-inch screens to 24-inch screens, and so it's a huge difference for the kids as far as when they're editing, and they have a lot more room to maneuver around in all the programs that we use. And we also have 2 new Mac Pro computers with 30-inch screens, and they're really excited about that. And on those computers, we have a program called Shake, which is a compositing program, which movies like King Kong and Transformers and stuff are all done on that. So they're excited to get the chance to use the software that can only be run on really fast and higher grade computers. We got 2 new AVC HD cameras. They're Panasonic. They can shoot in HD, and now that we have the software that can edit in HD, the kids can actually shoot and create and watch HD programming, and so they're excited about that.
The new cameras are really exciting for me. I'm excited about the new cameras and the fact that we're using little SD cards, and it's all HD and everything and digital, and I think it's just going to be easier to work with, easier to just get things done. And then Final Cut Pro, we have this new program to where we can be certified, and all the lessons to that, they teach you all these keyboard shortcuts, and so that's really easy. You can just move around and you can get stuff done faster. So
the new cameras, computers, and software will be immediately put into use in the Media Tech class's weekly productions. Students in the Media Tech class produce video announcements that run daily throughout Bryan High School. They also produce a local cable show called Bryan's Best that airs on cable channel 16.
For the announcements, we have all the new things happening around the school, what the students need to know for certain events coming up. And for Bryan's Best, we get the coaches up here and we ask what they thought about the game, what they could have improved on, what they didn't do, and ask them how they feel about the next game coming up. Everyone has a certain part that they need to do. We have the anchors up front. They read the prompter. Someone works the prompter and telling us what to say. The directors are in the studio. They're throwing up the images that we need to, that are going to appear above us to, the pictures. And someone's working the audio, not having it where it sounds echoey whenever someone talks.
Last year, during Bryan's Best and during the announcements, I was the director the whole year, or I tried to be at least. It was my first time doing that, and that was basically telling people when to start, the audio, or when to put up the server and stuff like that. But this year we're alternating more, and just last week I was an anchor, which was different for me. I was in front of the camera, so that was fun.
The goal of media technology and as part of being part of the career and technology department here at Bryan High School, our goal is to train these kids to where when they graduate from Bryan High School, they'll be able to get a job or to go to college, and we're preparing them for that. So if they want to go into media technology, video production, I'm trying to get them to a point when they graduate from here, they'll be able to step right in and immediately contribute wherever they go, college or business.
Sandy, it looks like they got a lot of great equipment for that department.
They did, and we're looking forward to watching Bryan's Best throughout the football season.
Fall Fest 2009 isn't until the end of October, but we wanted to make sure everyone got it on their calendars, so here's the PSA for that event. It's pumpkin carving time again at the 2009 Fall Fest in downtown Bryan. Bring a pre-carved pumpkin to the event or create your own pumpkin masterpiece at the Fall Fest. Either way, you can join in the pumpkin walk that will stretch from the Children's Museum all the way to the Palace Theater. Everything kicks off at 10 a.m. on Saturday, October 24th. And after the pumpkin walk, stick around for Shrek. The movie will start in the Palace Theater at dark. Call 209-5528 for more information. That's all we have for you on this episode of Bryan Living and Learning. To watch the show again, you can log on to bryantx.gov, youtube.com/City of Bryan.
You can also go to bryanisd.org, or you can use our newest communication tool, twitter.com/BryanISD or twitter.com/City of Bryan.
And now you can watch on the go by subscribing to our podcasts. They're downloadable right to your iPod.
For Bryan ISD, I'm Sandy Farris.
And I'm Alan Bruggman for the City of Bryan. Thanks for watching.